Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here to kick off another week of broadcasts. Let's say hi to everybody tuning in live and early for the roll call today, starting over on, let's see, over on D Live. I see Q-Boys over there, Barbara Rowe, and Lino Vincent. What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a good start to your week. Shout out to those of you watching on Rumble as well. Hit that thumbs up button for us on your way in the door. I see Spiky999 over there, Esther G13, and Snow Bunny 68. Great to see you guys again. Happy Monday to all of you over there on Rumble. Shout out to the Cloud Hub Odyssey and Twitter viewers as well, and those of you tuning in on the YouTubes. I know we don't really interact much with those chats, but I do appreciate your viewership on today's show. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. And of course, the big shout out to all of you watching on pilled.net, the home of free speech, the home and exclusive home of the majority of this broadcast. Great to see so many of you already hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and see who's out there today. And then we will get this show officially underway at the top of the 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock hour. Lightspear Lance was in there first today. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Hope your week is off to a good start. Kane Chris in there second early today. Chris, good to see you. Delia, what's up, Delia? And Due Diligence Floyd, how are we today, buddy? Joe Elaine keeping all the chats nice and comfy. The best mod in the entire world. Thank you so much, Joe, for all that you do. Patriot 714, how you doing? Great to see you. Spiky999 in the house as well. Good to see you, my friend. Pip's mom checking in from across the pond over in Wales. Good to see you, Pip. Let's see. A crazy Monday cookie from Floyd. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate you kicking off the gold pills today. D. Richard, how we doing? Great to see you. And Pat McFly hanging out as well in the early. HL Paco, great to see you in the bunker, my friend, my man. 2A Freedom Rider, repping the 412. Let's go. I love the terrible towel sticker you guys all put in the chat these days. Very cool. General Buford, how are you? Frodo Baggins in the house from down under. How you doing, Frodo? Oilman 94, my brother. How's it going, man? I hope you're doing well. Barb Robbins, great to see you. Laura Y also repping the 412. Let's go, Laura. R. Harold, thank you for the cookie. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Vanita 71, welcome. Fazic, great to see you. The Abby Free, great to see you, Abby Free. And Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. Yes, it is going to be a very interesting year. Roy Cisco Kid, welcome. My man Kyman, Molan Labe checking in. Howdy, Kyman. Hope you're doing well. Don Ritchie 17. What's going on? Tweety 52. Good to see you. PNW Sasquatch in the house as well. Sergeant Sparky. Welcome, you guys. Mr. Gerardo, good afternoon, sir. Jeff Den, how are we? Norm, Hang 10 Alien Surfer in the house. What's up, buddy? How we doing today? Delta Mike Echo, what's going on? Cali Patriot 14, good to see you. Zurame out there as well. Welcome, Zurame. Let's see, who else? Steve B in the house. How you doing, buddy? McKinnon 88 also checking in. Love to see it. And Baseman, what's up, Baseman? Shane RQ, how are you? Welcome. Range Pony, what's going on, my friend? Let's see. Jim, what's up, Jim? Chops, IDMC, Thirst for Knowledge. Good to see all you guys out there. Mama's always right in the house. What's going on? Joshua Tree 321, welcome, Joshua. We got Jenker 2 out there. Sheaves Coin hanging out as well. Good to see you. Aurelius Locke. What's going on, you guys? Welcome. Looks like a lot of people are still over on Pinata's stream, so I'm actually out of names here with 2 minutes to spare. We rocked right through that. Rock Mama out there. What's up, Rock Mama? Let's see, anybody else checking in these other places? Yes, Lucy Anders, Silebor, and Starwalker 77, Barbara Rowe checking in over on D Live today. So good to be with y'all. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I hope you all had fun. I hope you all rested, got relaxed, able to relax a little bit, and are ready to hit the ground running here to start off this week. Patriot drummer, Eagle Freedom, how you guys doing? Janine Sassy Gal back in action. Great to see you. Dread Quarters as well. Cycle Chris, M Peach 'em all. I like that one. PDX Patriot. Good to see you guys as well. Off the YouTubes and back home. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Secret Weapon, how you doing, my friend? Great to see you as well. Let's see who's over on YouTube. I haven't said hi to the YouTube people in a while. Are we live over there? Yeah, there's 32 people watching. So let's see who's over there. Green Girl, Danny Boy, Maddie England, MJ, Susan Daniel. What's up, guys? Bill Daly. You guys need to come and check out the Foxhole, those of you guys watching on YouTube. I'll put the link down in the description. Well, first I'll just throw it over here in the chat for you guys. Come hang out with us on Foxhole. Fuck YouTube. YouTube is the worst. I'm surprised there's not already a community strike against us for this video. They never waste any time. Tracy S, Duppy, DX, what's up, guys? Crockett Man, 62, Sunset Blush, good to see you all. Space Cookie, Mix Picks, what's up? Truth Teller 101, Patriot Game, thank you for the can. Says Trump Roar, yes. Silent Warrior, Martin 1776, No Me For You, Flawless in USA, Canada A, CK Whitehorse 180, great to see you guys. Yeah, people are piling on in. Eric Chenault out there as well. Timber Jet, good to see you guys. Again, those of you guys watching on Rumble and YouTube, DLive, Odyssey, Cloud Hub, make sure you find your way over to pill.net for the second half of today's show. Love to see you guys over there. Means the world to me when you guys come over and continue hanging out with us from these other platforms. Benton, what's up, Benton? Good to see you over on Rumble. Dangleberry checking in over on DLive. Thank you, Pinata, for hosting over there. Misfortune, what's going on? Good to see you. A from PA in the house. What's up, A? Good to see you too. All right, Cynthia, welcome. Good to see you. Ty Valius out there, Tavalius, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get the show started. We'll be back in just a few moments.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production, Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult hero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may either find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replace it with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only incentivized to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, guys, another fresh week of broadcasts here on 412 Productions. Thank you guys so much for being here, joining us on this Monday afternoon. My name is Adol Nero. Many of you out there know me as 412. It's November 6, 2023. I'm with my good friend, Mr. Tennessee Homesteader, riding shotgun with me here for the next couple of hours. I'm sure Drunk Pinata is on his way as well, probably just getting situated after wrapping up his show. TN, how you doing, man? Happy Monday.
I'm doing well. Happy Monday.
Yes, sir.
Happy Monday to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a lovely cold day in the neighborhood, and we're back to normalizing our time zones, Eastern Standard now.
Yeah.
My wife didn't even know what was going on. She didn't. She was so, we don't pay attention. Well, I have to pay attention to time. I have to pay attention to precision on time,
Right.
but she doesn't. So she comes up on Sunday morning and goes, "Did the time change? Because I just got up and it's like, yeah."
It usually takes me by surprise. Like, oh, this year I was ready for it though. So I stayed up a little bit later. I kind of took advantage of it. It was a fun little weekend. I always love the day where they turn the clocks back. It's always such a nice, refreshing feeling. It feels like you have I don't know. That next day always I feel like I have more energy. I feel like it's you just get like that extra time. I don't know. It's a nice little mental trick.
Yeah, it's a completely a psychological thing, obviously because of the light and all that. But I like to sleep in a dark room, and needless to say, I was in bed at 7:30 last night. You were still basically having your second beer, and I was in bed, but I was up at 11:51.
Okay, well,
I've been up since 11:51.
You didn't even sleep past midnight.
No,
you're insane. I just do not know how you do it.
I don't know. It's just I wake up and brain says, "Get up." Okay.
Well, there you go. Well, Tian, hopefully you're able to stay awake for the next couple of hours. You've been up for a while now on just hours of sleep. But no, I'm glad you're here, man. We got so much to talk about today. So interested to get your take on many of the topics I'm going to present here.
Copy that.
Yep. Let's go and say hi to Drunk Pinata as well. Pinata, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I'm trying to recover from, I don't know, I want to be delicate, the mental retardation of whatever these cases are that they're presenting against Trump, because they are just, you have to be mentally handicapped, unfortunately, to believe any of this stuff if you're unbiased, to actually look at the logic of it and what they're presenting.
Absolutely. It is.
Especially New York.
Yeah, the New York thing specifically is just absurd. Absolutely. How does the judge get away with ignoring a higher court?
The point is not the higher court. The point is what they're doing is as far as what they think is damage. to his credibility as a businessman, successful business person. This is all about trying to take in the public opinion. They don't care if this thing gets overturned. They don't.
Yeah.
But
So
They
where's it
clearly do
going
not.
with the
it's
public?
all PR that they're doing, basically.
But
They
where are
have to.
getting
Well,
their
they just
feedback?
have to go. They just have to go through it, Tian. Like they brought it, and now they have to not appear as if it was not the bullshit that it was. I mean, it's
Yeah,
going to get
I
overturned,
guess
and it
they're
will be
committed
shown that.
now.
But they have the PR machine and the media to say that it was a success, and that oh well, we just need to fix this loophole in the future. Blah blah blah. They'll think of something.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not doubting your word or what you're saying. It's just not doing it. That's what gets me. But I guess you're right. They are committed, and at this point, they can't back out because otherwise they'll look like losers. The losers that they are, rather. But yeah,
So I just saw Trump had posted this. I didn't know really where he was getting this whole that Letitia James racist thing was going on, but apparently this is where this came from. If you want to share it real quick.
Go ahead.
This together now. And so we've got to stand up to the federal government. We've got to stand up to bullies. And we've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
Too male, too pale. Wow.
Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale.
is this
And
recent?
we will not go away silently. We will not be silent in the face of this oppression.
My guess is this is her governorship run.
What oppression is the hell she talking about?
What a-
I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
campaign.
What a racist piece of trash she is. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So that apparently that's where that came from. Because I was wondering, I'm like, there's probably a reason why, but I'd not seen that, and he just posted that he's gone on a tear. Some of these other interesting ones is just a picture of Judge Engeron here with a I'm not here to hear what Trump has to say. You're not. I think that's the whole purpose is why you're there, is to listen to people, but whatever. And then what's this? I think she's a political hack. So anyway,
Yeah, I responded
What
to
if
that. I
Donald
said you can
Trump-
drop the think.
what if Donald Trump campaigning against Letitia James in New York went and said she's not a man and she's too tan? Like, what would they say about that? You know what I mean?
Crucifixion, come on down.
It's just like, holy shit. The way what they can get away with, like to say that he's too male and too pale, like that's so fucked up. That she's like that they can just get away with saying that kind of shit. But if you were to,
You know, we should take that video and put a circa 2023 at the bottom. Because then it applies to Biden.
yeah, right? Seriously.
Which it does, right? I mean, literally it does with him.
That's unbelievable. What a piece of shit racist Letitia James is. Holy smokes.
And New York is, I mean, incredible of New York because, I mean, they're falling apart. The city's falling apart.
Yeah, it really is. It's a total trash heap. Like so many of these Democrat-run cities have turned into total trash heaps.
Yeah.
Because they're run by total trash people. I mean, it's just that simple. When you have a city run by pieces of garbage, you're going to have a city that is a piece of garbage, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the leadership. They're a complete reflection of the leadership as far as how these cities are right now. The living conditions on these cities perfectly reflect the people that run them. So there you go. All right, let's take care of our sponsors, and we've got a lot to talk about today for sure. Lots of stuff happening. So first is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com. You guys know all about Jolene and her amazing company up in Montana making these wellness products like the CBD oils, all of the ingredients for which grown locally on organic small Montana farms. The flavors are great. The products are amazing. The tinctures, the CBD oil for pets. Don't forget about the Delta 8 nighttime gummies for a good night's sleep, and the Arnica salve, the topical cream. for sore joints and muscles. You can get that with or without CBD oil. The fire cider, great for clearing your sinuses whenever you're feeling stuffed up. Elderberry tonic to boost your immune system. Lots of great teas to choose from. 4 of them, actually. Elderberry tea, golden potion tea, serenity, and sunshine and pine needle tea. So if you enjoy a nice cup of tea, I highly recommend you try some of these. And then, of course, the critter juice as well to keep the mosquitoes away, keep the pests and insects away. All natural, smells great, doesn't leave you feeling oily or gross after you apply it. You can get that for you or your dogs and cats. There's 2 different versions of the product here. All of these great products are available for 10% off using promo code 412 at checkout. So go ahead and go to earthgardenbotanicals.com, load up the cart, say hi to Jolene for us, and make sure you use that promo code 412. Also, we have Integral Networks, integralnetworks.com. This is a third-party IT company up in the Northwest. They serve the entire United States. They're America First, total patriots. They do an amazing job helping companies, organizations of all sizes and setups save time, effort, and money on their IT systems using a number of different services, whether it's their cybersecurity, data backup and recovery. They help with Cisco products. If you have a large network that needs Cisco devices, those are not easy to install and set up. So they consult on that. And then, of course, the Integral Secure Workspace, which I think is really neat, allowing you to basically use their servers to set up a remote work environment for your users. So the way that works is your users would log on with their device and do their work virtually on the server and then log off. So this allows you to make sure they're using the right software, the right applications, making sure everything's on the right version. Also, it keeps all your data on that secure server rather than traveling with each employee on their local machine. So you get a huge security bump and safety bump when it comes to keeping your data where it needs to be. So that's a huge advantage there. Go check them out, integralnetworks.com. If you want to give them a call, it's 916-626-4000. That's 916-626-4000. And let them know that you heard about them here on 412 Production. So big thank you to Integral Networks and Earth Garden Botanicals for sponsoring the show today. Thank you guys out there who continue to support our sponsors and support this broadcast as well. Guys, as we get started here, make sure you hit that red pill button over on pill.net. Make sure you repost the show as well. That's always a big part of helping us grow. Share the links wherever you're watching. Those of you watching on Rumble, YouTube, DLive, Odyssey, and CloudHub. Also, those of you on Twitter, make sure you get the pill.net link so you could watch the second half of the show, which is available exclusively on pill.net, the home of free speech. Those links are below the Rumble in the Rumble description and the YouTube description for you guys. Joe Elaine will be sharing those links out there as well if you guys need help finding them. So big thank you to everyone who will and has eventually crossed over to pill.net to keep watching the show with us. Let's start today with the big news of the leak of the Nashville Covenant School Shooters Manifesto. So Nashville police told Fox News in late April that they will finally release the manifesto of the trans shooter that they recovered from her car following the attack on March 27, 2023. 28-year-old Audrey Elizabeth Hale, a transgender former student, murdered 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults last month in a mass shooting at the school. Hale fired off 152 rounds during the targeted attack at the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee. The attack appears to be a deadly hate crime by a deranged trans shooter against Christian Americans. The media has largely ignored the attack that resulted in 6 deaths, including 3 children. Local authorities and FBI refused to release the manifesto to the public following the mass shooting by Hale in March. The release of the manifesto was delayed again in early May. Michael LaChance reported the excuse this time is that there is a pending litigation around the document. Does anyone believe any of this? I know
Is that Hale or Heil in this case?
That's a great question. All right, so let me scroll forward here. Now, Louder with Crowder has exclusively obtained the first 3 pages from the purported manifesto of the Nashville shooter, Audrey Hale. Quote, our Mug Club undercover team has obtained exclusive access to the Nashville Covenant Shooters Manifesto, Crowder announced on Monday. The mainstream media does not want you to see this. In a chilling revelation, the disturbing manifesto of Audrey Hale, who referred to her plans as Death Day, has been leaked. This document, filled with malevolent intent in a planned timeline, contains a disturbing insight into Hale's thoughts leading up to the tragic event. Within the washed-out prose of her manifesto, Hale made numerous alarming statements, including, "Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't." Her hope for a high death toll is also clearly stated, a chilling sentiment that belies the depths of her malevolence. Her ire seems particularly focused on kids who she perceives to be affluent, referencing children going to fancy private schools with those fancy khakis plus sports backpacks with their daddy's Mustangs plus convertibles. Hale's extended to a consistently embittered view of social equity, demonstrating her deep-seated anger. She wrote, "Want to kill all you little crackers. Bunch of little faggots with your white privilege." Again, those are her words, not mine. Her cold-blooded precision when discussing the execution of her heinous plan is chilling, with Hale estimating the entire incident may last as little as 3 to 7 minutes, but no longer than 10. She stolidly wrote, "It might be 10 minutes tops, it might be 3 to 7, it's going to go quick." Here you can see some images of the manifesto. And then there's a timeline here, which we won't get into. And another tweet from Steven Crowder with quotes of white privileges, "Want to kill all you little crackers. I hope I have a high death count. I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't ready to die." Alex Jones issued a statement on this new development. I don't think we need to watch it, to be honest. I don't think he's going to bring any additional insight. But there you go. The manifesto, at least the first 3 pages, have been released, and I've heard people speculating that it might not be real, that this might be some kind of setup. I don't think that's true based on what just broke not long before the start of the show today. Nashville mayor launches investigation into leak of trans Nashville Shooters Manifesto. So following the leak of the transgender Nashville Shooters Manifesto on Monday morning, Mayor Freddie O'Connell said that the city has launched an investigation into how the images of the writings were released. Quote, "I have directed Wally Dietz, Metro's law director, to initiate an investigation into how these images could have been released. The investigation may involve local, state, and federal authorities. I'm deeply concerned with the safety, security, and well-being of the Covenant families and all Nashvillians who are grieving," O'Connell said in a statement, according to WSMV. Quote, "This incident naturally invokes additional emotional trauma, and families or individuals who need support should reach out to professionals at National Alliance on Mental Illness and MNPD support counselors or MNPS Family Information Center. On Monday morning, 3 handwritten pages, blah, blah, blah." I'll leave that there because it's going to get into more of what was in the manifesto, which we already covered. So there you go. You have at least part of it. I don't know if Steven Crowder has more or less or any more of it, and he's kind of gatekeeping right now and going to trickle it out there, or if that's all we have so far. But regardless, this is to me, the news is how they've been trying to hold this away from the public. They don't want the narrative coming out that, well, let's be honest, the mainstream media, mainstream academia, the mainstream liberal thought process about transgenderism, the LGBTQ mafia, the hate that they spew directly inspires acts of violence, acts of hatred. They are inciting violence every day with the rhetoric they put in the mainstream cable news and places like that. We saw similar attempts to distort the motive of the what was the guy's name? Daryl Brooks, the guy that drove the SUV into the Christmas parade in Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. It's the same thing. They don't want to.
Or the guy, the cargo van into the White House.
Yeah, it's another one.
Or the
right?
car into the White House.
Yeah, they don't
crowds.
ever want to face accountability for
Not
the
when it's
violence.
not a MAGA person.
Well, again, right? It's so easy for them. Anytime it's a white guy, a conservative leaning white guy, the manifesto's out there, and then you get all these assholes on the TV talking about how domestic extremism is this huge threat to democracy, to our country, blah 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 blah. But when it's a lefty, a black power guy like the like Daryl Brooks, who was posting all kind of anti-white hatred all over his social media, a huge rap sheet of DAs soft on crime, letting him out on cheap bail. I mean, it was the second time that guy was able to assault somebody with his vehicle, or this shooter here who's clearly hates white people, hates Christians, a trans person, obviously radicalized by the mainstream, by this LGBTQ movement. When it's that, then these manifestos, these motives become matters of national security, or the items of further investigation or litigation. They just can't, the public can't see them. Why? Because again, it shows how dangerous the mainstream propaganda and the left leaning propaganda is, how it incites violence, how it creates these nasty situations, how it inspires hate and hate crimes. So to me, I mean, this is a perfect example of it. Why couldn't this be released? What was in there that we've seen that was so dangerous that couldn't be seen, other than the danger it posed towards undoing some of those narratives, or exposing
Well,
narratives.
particularly when you're talking about it, Nick. It's one. Maybe this is not a proper way of looking at it, but there's one thing to go out there and shoot up places.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to target what specifically is children.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And what have we heard of Uvalde? Which was, in essence, the one right before that, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a certain level of sicko to do that. So this person, I think, was beyond the hate, meaning the cis hate, if you will, right? The affluent hate, because when you're going out to kill children, it's a step beyond that.
Yeah. It's a special kind of evil, for sure.
So you have to wonder what was the rank, because I mean, we suspected some of it. I don't think I was surprised from what's already out. The person was a whack job, and had to have some form of hate. Whether it was manufactured and triggered or whatnot, it doesn't matter, right? It still comes from within, right?
Yep.
That just gets manipulated. But I wonder if there's other things in that manifesto that are more pointing fingers.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd love to know if Steven Crowder has more than just those 3 pages.
I would think he does, because if the mayor's coming out saying he wants an investigation of the leaking, it wouldn't be a partial leak. I mean, I'm guessing here totally, but it just would seem like not a partial leak. So it's like Crowder may just be not sandbagging it, but waiting for, kind of like what Tucker did with the Jan 6 videos, waiting for the flurry of activity and watching everybody go crazy, so to speak. Not on our side per se, but the left.
Yeah, so I don't think that he has the whole thing, based on just I'm kind of scrolling through his Twitter right now just to see if he said anything alluding to like more coming, guys, or whatever. But he quote tweeted this. Phil Williams, I don't know who Phil Williams is, speaking truth and power and the angry mob, chief investigative reporter, Pulitzer finalist. I don't know who he's associated with, but anyway, he says multiple sources have told me that the selective leak of 3 p.m. I love how it's a selective leak all of a sudden. It's just so funny to me. The same guy probably
It selective leaks every day.
Yeah, exactly. And they, it's never selective. It's, the walls are closing in. This is major breaking news, blah blah. Anyway, multiple sources have told me that the selective leaks of 3 pages of the Covenant School shooting manifesto is extremely misleading. People who have the whole thing say there's something in there for everybody. Another, she hated everybody. So Steven Crowder says, fine, release the whole damn thing then. To me, that tells me that he doesn't have any more than what he put out.
Or my counter would be that he's saying, this guy says that it wasn't just targeting white people, or that it wasn't just targeting certain people. It was targeting a lot of different people. And Carter's like, well, then go ahead, release the whole thing, prove me wrong. So I don't know. I took it as he might have more than he released.
Okay. Yeah, so we read that a little differently. But who knows? Who knows if he has more? Point is though, is they're trying to keep this from you. They don't want you to see it. And again, it's because this is establishment inspired, establishment incited hatred. And they don't want accountability for that, Only white, straight male Christian conservatives can incite violence in this country. Everything else just happenstance is the way they want you to see it.
They're the only ones that can be racist, don't you know?
Yeah. Yeah. We're just too damn pale. Too male and too pale.
Too pale.
It's just
Own it, baby.
dude, it's just unbelievable.
So
Standards.
So apparently this just happened.
One of the things I convinced President Ladd when I was vice president, I convinced the president to do, provide money for high-speed rail.
Did he just forget Obama's name?
Yes. That's exactly what just happened.
Listen, we're lucky he remembers his name.
He's I think he's about to get the boot here.
Yeah. Change of matter.
Yeah.
Well, I
think question.
I think we've all been on point on this, honestly. Because we understand what the timeline is here, and I think I just heard something over the weekend that might solidify our argumentation that we've had on from this panel, at least over the past few months, when we had this conversation on this topic of whether or not they're going to replace him. And it comes down to, I think everyone knows what happens at the RNC if Trump gets through. And the polling is still the way it is, and Trump is the nominee, because the RNC convention takes first, then the Democratic convention takes after. And so if they're right. So I think there is the window, is if Trump gets through and he's the nominee, you're probably going to have Biden changed.
Here's another interesting thing too. Whatever happens, and I'm in agreement with you, I firmly believe that's when they're going to pull the rug out. Chicago, 1968, and the 7. This is where the DNC is going to be. It's in Chicago again. 1968. If you don't know what I'm speaking of, there was a massive riot and disruption of the DNC. And there was a major big trial that happened thereafter, and some prominent lefties were basically, in essence, attacking the Democrat National Convention in Chicago in 1968.
Is that like the Weather Underground, or is that different?
Different. That was different. Well, I mean, it's all coming from the same
ideology,
so to speak. But yeah, it was different.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's also quite interesting that it's coming around this time of year. I mean, this time, not to say that it's related or that it's a particular delta. It's just mighty interesting.
Yeah, very much so. All right. Any other thoughts on the manifesto and the Nashville shooter? I don't know how much more there is to really say about it, but yeah. Okay.
It kind of also says, one final comment.
Yeah.
It also says, and I am in agreement that they're trying to suppress the association of violence to them, but it also says that they're no different from a perspective of once they have hate, once they have been triggered to hate, whether it's, like I said earlier, manufactured or triggered in some form, the hate comes from within, and the individuals are the ones. So in a way, they cannot pin that to all MAGA or all right wingers, all gun owners, yada yada yada. I think that might be the bigger narrative than the tranny are peaceful people angle.
Yeah, no, that's a good point too, Tien, for sure. That's a really good point. All right,
Particularly the anti-2A, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, that was it.
Yeah. No, good stuff. All right, let's get into some of the Trump legal stuff, because there's a good bit here that is broken since the last time we've all convened. This was from Friday, so this is a few days old, but we never covered it. Appeals court freezes Judge Chutkan's gag order against Trump. CNN reported a federal appeals court on Friday temporarily froze the limited gag order issued against Donald Trump in the former president's election subversion criminal case in Washington, D.C. In a brief order, a 3-judge panel at the U.S. D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals said they were pausing the gag order issued by District Judge Tanya Chutkan to give them more time to consider Trump's request to pause the order while his appeal plays out before the court. Last month, blah, 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 blah. All right, we'll leave that there. So he can now call Jack Smith a deranged thug at will with no worry of reprisal. So I was happy to see this. Hopefully the appeal goes his way and he won't have his First Amendment speech attacked by this, or being suppressed by this court case going forward. So I thought that was good news. I don't have much else to say about that, but we've been following this gag order drama all over the place as it's been implemented, then removed, then put back into place, and now paused again. So we will see what happens with this appeals court. I'm sure if that doesn't go the right way, it'll go up to the Supreme Court as well. But ultimately, it is a First Amendment issue. So I feel pretty good about this. If the Supreme Court decides to hear it, I think it should go Donald Trump's way, but we'll see what happens with that. So Donald Trump currently not under any gag order at this moment. And there was this: Jack Smith opposes having cameras in Trump's federal election trial.
Yeah, of course he does.
So special counsel Jack Smith's prosecutors issued a court filing saying they oppose the televising of former President Trump's federal election trial, although a multitude of media outlets have sought for it to be streamed. A group of media outlets asked the federal judge overseeing the case for permission to broadcast the Trump trial due to its historic nature. One of President Trump's attorney has publicly backed the trial being televised for the public to see. Federal prosecutors said that every court to have considered the issue has concluded that there is no constitutional right to a televised trial, according to their court filing on November 3rd. The longstanding rule that disallows the broadcasting of federal trials was implemented to avoid the risks that policymakers have determined cameras pose to the fair administration of justice, Mr. Smith's lawyers said. While the applicants are free to advocate their views to policymakers, this court should decline their invitation to ignore the binding nature regarding that federal rule. They said the rule, which was first adopted in 1946, survived a series of constitutional challenges in the late 1980s. The U.S. Supreme Court enshrined the public's First Amendment right of public access to criminal trials in 1980s. Richmond newspapers versus Virginia journalists thereafter argued that the federal rule barring photos and video broadcasts from inside the courtroom during the federal trials was unconstitutional. 4 federal appellate courts rejected those arguments. The news outlets in an October request wrote that the judge should instead allow cameras inside the courtroom, saying that because of President Trump's high-profile status as a current 2024 candidate and the former president, it's in the public interest to see the trial play out. The charges he faces presents the strongest possible circumstances for continuous oversight of the justice system, lawyers for the news outlets argued. We have never in the history of our nation had a federal criminal trial that warrants audio visual access more than the federal prosecution of former President Trump for allegedly trying to subvert the will of the people, the outlets added. NBC Universal has filed a separate petition and provided additional arguments for a live or near live video stream of President Trump's trial. Both NBC and Media Coalition argued that nearly every state now allows televised criminal proceedings in state courts, even federal courts. They said permit video access to some civil and bankruptcy proceedings. Video technology is moreover so advanced that there is no need for intrusive cameras and lighting, the Media Coalition said, and thanks to smartphones, cameras have become so ubiquitous that all Americans expect to see video of major events. Quote, the means exist today for all Americans to exercise their constitutional rights to observe trials, particularly a historic case like this one, the coalition wrote in their court filing. The First Amendment requires remote access through that technology. CNN legal analyst Ellie Honig also said during a recent live segment that if the outlet doesn't have cameras in the courtroom, here's what we're going to have. We're going to have young reporters running in and out of the courtroom, texting us, trying to recount what happens. 2 or 3 hours after the end of every trial, they will get a 300-page transcript that some court reporters typed up, and we'll get sketch drawings. He added, it's not 1918 here, it's 2023. We need to get with it. So I'll leave that there. But it's no surprise to me that Jack Smith opposes this, especially if Donald Trump is going to use these hearings as opportunities to further litigate 2020 to expose the.
How could he not? I mean, how could it not be when that's what he's being essentially tried for?
Right, and this is why I think that you're seeing.
Yeah, you know why though, right? In my opinion,
why?
Georgia. The televising of Georgia just blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
Particularly with Kash Patel's interview. Or
you mean Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado. I beg your pardon. Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes. Colorado. Sorry. Yeah. Particularly Kash talking about, which undermined him as well, Smith, in the aspect of the National Guard.
Yeah. That's so huge, by the way. His testimony during that, we played a little video of it on Friday. That was so big, what he exposed through that. It really, I think, shut down their entire case, and it's going to really hurt Jack Smith as well.
Exactly.
That'll be
able to why no televising, because he can't. The dancing will be obvious, just like it was obvious in Colorado when the what do they call them, the forgot the term that they use for because there's not a prosecution, but anyways, when he was questioning Kash, and he was getting testy because Kash was basically putting it in his face, even to the point where he says, well, when you're saying the DOJ and the FBI, well, who are you talking about? The leadership or the rank and file? Because the rank and file we're talking, but it's the leadership that has to make the decisions.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that Smith could not handle. I mean, not to say he personally couldn't handle, because I have no clue. It's just saying can't handle having it be televised.
Yeah, it's not going to play well. No. The American people are going to see way more than that. What Smith wants is the same thing he's been getting, right? What he's been trying to do. He wants Donald Trump silenced. He wants to be able to leak to the friendly media and have them present things out of context in a way that hurts Donald Trump and his public perception. And he wants the trial to go the same way. He probably wants only limited access from a media standpoint, so they can come out and take the little bits and pieces they think sound good, regardless of the overall context, give those as correspondence to their media, and then they can sit there and tell the country Donald Trump's guilty, he's a scumbag, the walls are closing in, this is the end. And then Donald Trump have no real way to push back on any of that.
Yeah, so control the narrative. That's the whole goal here, is control the narrative.
Yep. No, 100%. 100%.
Which also then goes to show you that if they're in that need, they had nothing.
No, they're if they had the goods, if they felt really confident about the case they were building against Donald Trump, they would probably be installing, like Jack Smith would have people installing the cameras in the courtroom right now himself.
Exactly.
You know,
they would want the cameras.
They would be so excited to have cameras in there. If
There's
they
no reason to leak to the media either.
Nope.
I would build a crescendo of angst and salivation from the media, about the trial.
Yeah.
And you don't hear them saying, "We have the goods, we have him." He's dead to rights. That kind of language, right? They don't say that. They leak shit
Yep. Absolutely.
that then falls apart.
Yeah. No, really, you're absolutely right. Okay, so I'm going to read another article about Jack Smith. There's a little analysis. Jack Smith could be on shaky ground. It's in the Epoch Times. We'll read a little bit of this. After that, we will be closing down the other platforms that aren't pilled.net. So I just want to give you guys some time, a heads up, to make sure you're getting over to Pilled. If you're watching on Rumble, which is where the majority of our audience that isn't already on Pilled.net is right now, the link is in the description right below the stream. If you're on mobile, just hit description. There's like 3 little pills there. You hit description, comments, or live chat, I think. Just hit description. You'll see the links to Pilled.net there. If you're on YouTube, the link is also in the description below. So I'm going to go through some of this article, and then we're going to, again, shut down these alternative platforms and host the rest of the show exclusively on Pilled.net. Those of you watching on replay that aren't watching live, the second link in the description on Rumble will take you to the channel, and you should be able to easily find the replay right there on the channel. So please come and start getting situated over on Pilled.net. I really appreciate all of you guys who take the time to find your way over and learn how to do it, and join us in the chat over there. It's an amazing chat. Let us know what platform you're from. It's a really, really great platform. The only true free speech video live streaming platform going right now. So hope to see you guys over there. We're going to, like I said, make the jump in about 5 to 10 minutes. So just wanted to give, again, you guys enough time to figure it out and get situated before we do it. All right. So here,
Adel, before you start on that article, you know who wrote an article almost identical to this, and at least from a title perspective?
Who's that?
Newsweek.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Exactly. Jack Smith may be on shaky ground. Exactly.
Newsweek's not conservative.
No, not at all. That's why. That's why I bring it up before you got into the article.
You can see a lot of things falling apart in real time.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun, honestly. I feel like we're turning a corner, and I could be wrong. Who knows what we'll say next week? But right now, it certainly feels like we're turning a bit of a corner here. All right, so two analysts have noted that Special Counsel Jack Smith might be on shaky legal ground in his federal election-related case against former President Donald Trump. Nyama Ramani, a former federal prosecutor, said that the Trump charge of corruptly obstructing official proceeding hasn't been extensively litigated over the past several decades, adding that a ruling could come on whether it is appropriate in the former president's case. Multiple defendants who were charged in connection to the January 6, 2021 Capitol breach have argued that Congress certifying the electoral votes was not an official proceeding, and courts have universally rejected that argument. She told me, this is from Newsweek, TN, so there you go. Quote, the bigger question is, what satisfies the corruptly requirement? Is it any criminal conduct, such as trespassing in the Capitol building or submitting fake electors, or does the corrupt conduct have to relate to the other subsections of 1512, which prohibit destroying or concealing evidence? She asked. She continued, if the corruption requires consciousness of guilt, then Trump can argue that he genuinely believed the election was stolen. Either way, this issue will likely end up before the United States Supreme Court because it is a novel issue that affects hundreds of criminal defendants, including the former president. Lawfare's Roger Parloff wrote in a recent article that the Department of Justice recently won 2 fragile victories in 2 cases involving January 6 defendants. Mr. Smith has relied on a statute that was used by other prosecutors to charge at least 317 individuals in the January 6 case. Quote, Mr. Smith has relied on that statute and its conspiracy equivalent for 2 of the 4 counts in his indictment against former President Donald Trump for allegedly conspiring to overthrow the 2020 election. Mr. Parloff wrote, those counts whose legal sufficiency Trump challenged in a motion to dismiss this week are the most serious leveled against Trump in that case, carrying a maximum of 20 years term imprisonment. Three appellants in a January 6 case are now petitioning the U.S. Supreme Court to review a recent appeals court ruling that favored the DOJ, he noted. But he said that the D.C. appeals court judges can't agree about its holdings, and its holdings determine the viability of a 20-year felony that an ex-president and major presidential candidate now stands charged with violating. Moreover, at the appeals court level, judges' acceptance of the Justice Department's interpretation of that law have been 100% correlated with the political party of the judge's appointer, he wrote. If that trend continues, and if either case climbs one more rung up the appellate ladder, the department and Mr. Smith faces bleak prospects indeed. The comments come as constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley warned that the gag order targeting President Donald Trump is unconstitutional, and said that an appeals court ruling to rescind the order last week was quite significant development. Several weeks ago, District of Columbia Judge Tanya Chutkan placed the gag order on the former president in the January 6 related case, saying that President Trump cannot speak about potential witnesses, court staff, or prosecutors. An appeals court in the district froze Judge Chutkan's order late last week, with oral arguments being set for November 20th. Quote, they could have let it continue while they reviewed it, but they decided, perhaps in an abundance of caution, to order this stoppage until they can give it a full review. Mr. Turley, a professor for George Washington University, said on Fox News on November 3rd. The reason I think this could be quite significant is because I think the order is unconstitutional. He added that it's very odd to issue the order because the same court insisted on having this trial before the election, sort of shoehorned it in before Super Tuesday, referring to the key GOP presidential nominating date. Quote, and everyone in this election is going to be talking about these cases, the law professor said, except one person under this gag order, and that is Donald Trump. With the order, the former president can't criticize the prosecutors, blah, blah, blah. So this gets in more into the gag order, which we already covered. But again, they're looking at this and how this case is going to be escalated through the court system. And based on who these judges are and their political affiliations, it does not look good for Jack Smith, at least for some of the indictments. Do you guys have any thoughts on this analysis of Jack Smith's January 6th case against Donald Trump?
It's just par for the course. The people are starting to recognize that he's got nothing. Yep. It's more. Let's say there's more there than there is in New York, but it's like watching. How many layers of paint do you want to scrape off before you get to the wood?
Yeah.
In New York, it's like one. Jack Smith, maybe two or three.
Right. All right. So
and what you don't hear, sorry, and I know you wanted just one final comment.
Go.
You don't hear him talking anything about, so to speak, the documents.
No,
remember the documents was everything, and we had to raid him, and they raided Mar-a-Lago, and nothing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
It kind of makes you think, what were they looking for? They weren't looking for what Nara said that he had that they didn't even turn over. The more and more now we look back in time, the more and more it's likely that they were actually looking for something that was incriminating to them.
I think so too, Tien. I think that the whole thing was a farce to either, whether it's like the devolution, the PEDs, they want to know what he put into place before he left, evidence he had against some deep staters, yep. Something like that, maybe something, involving FISA or the Russia hoax, who knows? But I think you're right. I think they are on a fact-finding mission to try to get ahead of something. I don't think it had anything to do with like national security or classified documents in that way.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead. We're gonna again shut down Rumble, YouTube, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, and Twitter. If you guys want to keep hanging out with us, please come on over to pilled.net. The links are down below. We got a lot more to talk about. Update on the New York case, the ridiculous New York case. Donald Trump's lawyer, Elena Haba, was spitting fire outside the courtroom today. We're going to come back and watch that video on the other side. Also, we've got updates on the Biden crime family. There's some more developments happening there, and some absolutely huge poll numbers coming out that really look really look bad for the Democrats' perspectives in 2024. There's some interesting sound bites from some different mainstream news people that you're going to want to hear. All of that is going to be exclusively with us over on pill.net. So please come over and hang out with us. Jump into chat. Let us know where you're from, as far as what platform you're coming over from. And again, thank you guys so much, those of you who make the jump from these other platforms into the comfy bunker. It is the true home of free speech, a platform built by members of this community with no big tech infrastructure. So Amazon Web Services or IBM or the Apple or Google app stores, they can't tell us what to do because we don't use or rely on any of that infrastructure. And there's no big corporate influence either. It is really grassroots and independently operated in a way that truly allows free speech to grow and prosper. No hate speech terms of service, nothing like that. It is, again, I think the very best live streaming platform out there. It's got amazing features, and yeah, it's just waiting for you guys to go and check it out. So again, those links are in the description on YouTube. Those links are in the description on Rumble as well. Come over and hang out with us for the second half of the show. We'll be right back.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, guys, last chance to get on over. I am shutting down these alternative platforms. So again, pill.net, the channel is 412 Productions. Come on over and keep hanging out with us. We got lots more to discuss.